Hello everybody, my name is Dude and welcome back to Asagao Academy! It was only a few minutes before my exhaustion began to hit me. I did not handle lack of sleep well either. I quickly grew grumpy and irritable, and recognizing us from an all-nighter I pulled to write an essay a few weeks ago gave me my space. Good, but a coffee would be lovely. Lovely. In fact, you know, here, you might want to just, hand your arm out and I'll just inject caffeine into you. That'd be a bad idea, though. I think that would kill you. But we gotta find a safe way to do that, because I literally want to do that one day. Aside from that, class went just as expected. I want to inject caffeine into my bloodstream safely, not okay. I hope you guys get that. I'm not advocating suicide. Normal Boots boys avoided my eyes the entire period. Except the occasional vomit-inducing glance from Shane. He seemed to be taking the situation much more seriously than the rest of them, and I had no idea why. I never did anything to him, but for some reason he was never fond of me, or my hair. I was a little closer to John and PBG, though. I expected at least polite contact with them, but it seemed difficult for them to even look at me. PBG especially seemed to be taking it hard. He was a kind soul, and I didn't think he'd be able to continue isolating Mai and me if he didn't have the others to support him. As it was, any time I accidentally crossed paths with him, he seemed to be fighting an internal battle. Flickers of emotion would pass across his face. Regret, sadness, disbelief. So of course he ended up turning around and heading back from whence he came. He'd been late to class several times. Shouldn't they know me better than this? Shouldn't they know I wouldn't do something like that to them? Well, what did we really have in common? A shared school, a tournament, the possibility of a shared hobby? A definite shared hobby, by the way. Like video games is awesome, yo! Friendship meant different things to different people. To me, they were still my friends, but I guess to them, I was jolt back into reality as the bell rang. Chaotic shuffling and chatter of students filled the room in the rush to leave for lunch. PG, John, and Shane left the room faster than I thought humanly possible. Any hopes I had of walking to lunch together vanished with them. Guess they didn't want to be in my presence any more than they had to be. Sighing, I zipped my bag shut. Then I went back. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder. Luke and Ian stood behind me, gazing at me in sympathy. At least Luke seemed sympathetic. Ian was being Ian. It was hard to tell what he was feeling with a face as impassive and disdainful as his.
Hey.
What's with the long face? Do you really have to ask? I guess not. He shouldered my bag in the silence that followed. I wasn't sure whether there was a point to this conversation. I just wanted to leave. You know, you don't need to worry. I resisted the urge to roll my eyes. Don't I? Normal Boots Club are great people. Great people who dropped me at the first sign of trouble. Look, I believe you're innocent. Because of that, I know they'll recognize it too. Just give them time. I mean, they can't all be as smart as me. He grinned like a proud school kid. How do you know I'm innocent? He laughed. He turned to Ian, who grimaced. It's time to go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. He followed Ian out of the room, whistling. I don't know who's weirder out of the two. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? They're both pretty hot. Is that all you think about?
Bingo.
Hey, I gotta have something to keep my spirits up in these dark times. And dark times call for drastic measures. Considering what you were just talking about, that face is a little creepy. I don't want any part of what I think you're about to do. I shook my head. Let's get going. Maybe they'll have lobster for lunch again.
Yeah.
Sure hope so. That sounds delicious, but... Oh, what? This came out of Poppy Hall and Mai stopped dead in her tracks. Oh, shoot. What's wrong? Forgot my lunch money. Would you mind waiting here? I'm gonna run and get it back. Run back and get it. It's okay, I have more than enough for both of us.
Really?
Is it okay if I mooch off you?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? This fine. Though I still wonder why you have to pay for lunches in a school when you already paid for tuition and the books and shit. Why you need to pay for food on top of it? I expected to pay for shit when you're probably spent all your money getting in here. And probably all the money you get goes back into the school. You're the greatest. I promise I'll pay you back. You better. Wasn't like I could afford to give people handouts, especially not for Asagao's crazy expensive food. Come on, let's go. I'll tell you a secret in return. What's that? Once I saw Jeff shoving hamsters with helmets on them into tiny cannons. What? He was trying to shoot them into space. Why? What? I mean, creeps found him in time and stopped him. I think he might have kept the hamsters too. Probably a good reason for that, yeah. Maybe. I think I'd rather death by cannon than go home with creeps. I don't know. I mean, how bad can creeps be if, like, you're a cute little hamster? If you're a bunch of cute little hamsters? Sounds like he'd probably love... Now you know why Jeff's called Space Hamster. Let's go to lunch while I still have my appetite. Deal. Okay, that was weird. We waited in line for our lunch, conscious of several stares shooting in our direction. Ignore them. Oh, we get strawberry shortcake today. Ooh! 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 That sounds delicious. I want it. I want some. We gathered food onto our trays and began a slow walk back to the back of the cafeteria, where our table was now located. Why did the normal boots sit in the middle of the cafeteria? We had to walk past them and everyone was watching. I tried to concentrate on the smell of strawberries and ham wafting from my tray, and only found myself thinking of Jared's cologne. Does it smell like ham? Why are you reminded of his... That raises questions. Does he wear Ode to Pork? As we trudged past them, mine nudged me and smiled in their direction. No one was looking. They were all suddenly engrossed in their chopsticks and spoons. Everyone except Satch. Oh, just before he made it to our table, something caught my attention. Jeff was smiling and waving at us. After a pause, the rest of the Hidden Block Club joined. Oh! Maya and I waved and smiled in return and sat down at our table with lifted spirits. Neither of us looked at the other, but we were thinking the same thing. Normal Boots Club wasn't the center of the universe. And really, why did we expect anything different from them? So you know, I've been thinking. That is a bad sign, Hana. I agree. I'm sure a lot of people rude. A little bit, but my Hana, is lacking sleep. I'm kind of on that boat too, but I woke up at a decent hour today and I got a decent amount of sleep. So yay! For once! Who do you think would take the boots anyway, and why? Normal Boots Club is almost universally beloved. Why is that anyways? You're a group of crazy hot men surrounded by pubescent girls. You do the math. Right, got it.
Well...
Maybe they have a crazy fan that took it then. She wanted to get their attention. Seems an odd way to do it. They'd hate you afterwards. They say the opposite of love is indifference, not hatred. No, there has to be something in it for them. Maybe. I don't think the Hidden Block Club. Doubt it. Highly doubt it. I don't think they would. It seems like a friendly rivalry than anything else. Unless they wanted to prank the Normal Boots Club to say like, oh hey, we're gonna enter you and we're gonna have a tournament, steal your boots, and the winner gets the boots. And that's about it. He rolled his eyes. I thought it was them at first, but now I don't think so. They're a lot nicer than I thought they were. Me too! I thought they'd be a bit douchey. There's no way they'd do it. Plus the Normal Boots guys are their friends. And the boots were locked up. Someone had to get access when no one was looking. School official? You think? Yeah, I mean, the librarian hates everyone in our school, and Satch in particular. And plus, there's that creepy nurse. I forgot about him. Was he behind us, or were we just like looking at the guy? Why does he wear that mask? I heard he killed his cat, and now he thinks its soul is inside. That's not a cat. That's a fox? Kitsune mask? Wouldn't have killed a cat, would he? Rumor has it, if you take the mask away from him, half his face is burned.
What?
It's like the top half of his head, though. I don't know if I agree with that. What, ex-wife tried to kill him? glanced in our direction. We snapped our attention back to our food. Okay, let's just pretend it's not him. There's no way I can face that guy. Who has a motive for hurting the Normal Boots Club? We do. Well, now we do, not then. What about... Clatter rang out and a flush fell across the cafeteria. Muffled, angry voices came from the middle of the room. Oh boy. Shane and Satch seemed to have some sort of disagreement. Shane was waving his arms wildly and pointing towards us. Satch shook his head vehemently. PPG grabbed Shane's shoulder, but Shane shook it off. That would have been a tongue twister if I wasn't, if I wasn't lucky in my half-minded reading. Finally, he seemed to settle down. Staring at the floor, he said something. The rest of the group stared at him in shock. After a brief pause, Satch gathered up his things and took leave of the table. He's not leaving the club? No way, that can't be right. Satch strode across the cafeteria, stopping just over our table. Heat radiated off of him. He was still upset, though his expression didn't suggest it. Hi. You want to sit here? Mind if I sit here? Sure, go ahead. Of course, go ahead. I don't mind. I wouldn't have minded anyway. You seem cool. You didn't even need to leave the club or anything. You just sat here and silent protest to Shane, be all sassy and shit. Fuck you, bitch! But okay. He placed his tray next to mine, sat down, and proceeded to eat his fish burger. Everything about him looked a picture of calm. It was only because he was sitting next to me that I saw he was slightly trembling. Should we hug the Satch? Wait, no, that'd probably be a bad idea. He's still pissed. I don't want to piss him off. After a while, the conversation started up again. The Normal Boots Club guys mournfully looked at Satch, but no one made the move to follow him. Satch ignored them. So, I think you're innocent. Thank you. Couldn't let this keep going. Friends don't do this. People shouldn't do this. I agree. I don't understand why, but they were letting fear cloud their compassion. Just couldn't do it. A small warmth bloomed within me, and tears pricked the back of my eyes. Do you think I'm innocent too? Satch turned to Mai, who looked at him uncertainly. Well, I trust Hana's faith in you. Oh, well, that is good enough. I think. It is good enough. I believe she didn't do it. I believe she didn't do it. I don't know who else did it. Who else could have done it? Let's talk about something happier. How about? That would be good. That'd be really good. How about video games? Or is that still a very touchy subject because your club was nothing but video games until now, and then you left it, and it's whatever. The rest of lunch passed comparatively uneventfully. The Hidden Block guys each gave Satch a pat on the back on their way out, with the exception of Caddy, who shook his hand. Normal Boots men continued to ignore Mai and me. Before we knew it, class ended and the day was over. Tonight I lay on my bed watching an anime about loony high school girls. Doing what? What are they doing? This better not be a hentai, Hana. I don't think the school would allow that on the Wi-Fi. Also, that'd be a little kinky. I'm pretty sure that means we should start shipping you with Mai. Which is a thing that I've seen little hints of, I'm sure, but nothing pornographic, thankfully. When there was a knock on the door. You know who that is? No. Oh, well, you'll get it. Rude. Do you know who it was? And you just wanted me to open the door because of surprise? Is that what this is about? I pushed myself off the bed and opened the door.
Hana.
Hi, Satch. What are you doing here? He was beaming at me, hopping up and down like a kid at an amusement park. There's something I want to show you. Will you come with me? Sure. I'll be back later, okay? I only grunted in return. Together, Satch and I crossed the Bluebell house. Been working on this for a long time, at least a few years, but I think I finally made a breakthrough. I wanted to test it out, but things have been kinda tense lately, so I don't think I can ask Jared to do it.
Yeah.
Then I remembered I had you, and you said you wanted to help me out, so I finally figured out something you could do. Yay? What are we doing? What is going on exactly? He was talking a mile a minute, and I barely registered what he was saying before we found ourselves in his room. It was just as Spartan as I anticipated, being the love child of Jared and Satch. Yeah, Jared's out right now. That's why I came so late. Where is he? He had to go into the city for some reason. He did not look happy about it. Is he missing makeup? Or eau de pork? Maybe some condoms? I don't know. Went to his closet and pulled out a large black blanketed lump. Here it is. It's a lump! Yay! What's the lump for? What's the lump do? He removed the covering with a flourish. On the floor in front of me was some kind of machine. Wires connected to a helmet with a visor to an oddly shaped, almost square box. This thing? Which is actually not a VR headset, it's a Google Cardboard adapter thing. Satch kneeled next to it and started fiddling with a few things. See, I can test it myself, but it's a little harder because I'm the one who made it. I know how it's supposed to work. I have expectations.
Really?
Expectations? Yeah. It's everything with this. So I don't know if it's actually working or if I'm manipulating it somehow. Plus, I can't evaluate the effects when I'm wearing it. I'm not sure if my perception of time is whack or if, again, I'm messing up the... You shouldn't be hearing this or I'll mess you up your run-through. Don't mind me. But what is it? A virtual reality machine. A VR headset? Oh my god! Satch is the inventor of the HTC Vive! And the Oculus Rift and whatever Razer's got going. At least that's what I hope it is, but no more questions. That'll ruin the experience. Satch flipped a number of levers and the machine began to hum at a dangerously high pitch. Seeing my worried glance, Satch chuckled. Don't worry, this thing is completely safe. I fell asleep wearing it once. Okay. Even Jared didn't notice. Are they deaf or something? I think it was giving me a headache. Finally he finished whatever he was doing and held the helmet out to me. Really want me to do this?
Well...
Please, would you, Hana? Looked at me, eyes shining. It was the cutest thing I ever saw. Couldn't say no to those dimples. Fine, hand it over. Oh my god, it is a VR helmet. Awesome. The helmet was surprisingly heavy. I took my glasses off and set them down. Wondered whether my neck would be okay wearing it for so long, but when I slid it over my head, the cables fell across my back and eased the weight somewhat. That's good. Couldn't see anything inside the helmet, not even Satch's room. Sweat started to build on the felt lining.
Copacetic.
Okay, that apparently is copacetic. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on now, alright? If you say so. In his excitement, Satch couldn't seem to tell that I was at all apprehensive. I heard a snap, and then the wires on my back started to vibrate. What? Is this dangerous? A burst of light blew through the helmet. I felt horribly dizzy, as if I was being rolled down a hill in a barrel. I don't feel so good. Hang on, it's almost... Satch's voice was fading away, as if he was jogging down a long tunnel. Satch? The dizzying sensation stopped. Yeah. Complete. His voice floated towards me. A delay between the syllables and as if they were bouncing off a mountainside. In fact, I was by a mountainside. Am I just outside the school? This looks like a place outside the school. I shivered. Despite the lushness around me, it was cold here. Something tickled my legs. I looked around to see long shafts of grass grazing my ankles. Heard a voice in the distance. Was it Satch? It was drowned out by the wind. Suddenly the dizziness returned. I felt myself being sucked into something and shut my eyes tight. The sensation stopped. I opened them. I was in a completely white room. To my right, there was a brown table. 2 cakes sat on top of it. A white one, which I somehow knew to be vanilla, topped with whipped cream, and a chocolate one with oozing fudge on the side. I was overwhelmed with the desire to take one, but which? Chocolate? Very much love chocolate. Chocolate's good, though vanilla's also good. Marble, even better. So this is more than a HTC Vive this is more than a VR headset. This is fucking augmented reality? Or augmented reality, most likely. Cakes disappeared and in their place appeared a moon and a star, shining light across the tabletop. The moon flickered through different stages in its cycle, while the star changed shades from white to blue to purple and back to white. Another choice? The star is farther away, and it's also a big burning ball of gas. So I'm going to choose the star. Reach my hand out to touch the star, but before I could touch it, brushed away, just a few inches out of reach. I pulled my hand back, and to my surprise, the star followed it as if attached by a string. Faint, pulsating waves of heat washed across my palm, and suddenly the star wasn't there anymore. In its place was a small pink box. It opened on its own, and a piece of paper slithered out and rolled itself before me. Request? Nervous but excited, I read it. You are a person who appreciates your physical reality. While you try to remain constant and stable in your everyday life, you have many faces. You are drawn toward the mysterious, the beautiful, the things you cannot understand. Part of you wants to figure them out. The other part wants them to stay unknowable. Be at peace. Some things you will know, but many more you will not, and will never discover. Accept things the way they are, instead of trying to make them perfect. Fortune? The room disappeared, and I was left in darkness. A rustling filled my ears, and then I felt a familiar softness around my arms, and smelled cinnamon in the air. I was back at Asagao. That was fucking awesome! Pulled off the helmet and gasped for air. Felt like I was gone for days. Did you just invent the Matrix? Satch, is that what I'm to glean from this? It worked perfectly. I watched him dance around the room as I caught my breath.
What?
What? Thank you so much for your help, Hana. Now, come on, it's late. I'll walk you back to your room. What just happened?
Well...
It was a test scenario. I just had you run through it real quick and it worked. I'm so happy. I'm glad that I could help with this, and holy shit, dude, you should probably take that to E3. Or PAX. PAX, definitely. They would do wonders for that. A lot of people testing that. I still didn't understand what he was talking about, but suddenly we were in front of my room. I had no idea how we got here, let alone how fast. Was I really alright? Might feel a bit weird for a while, but it'll go away in a few minutes. I hope you're right. I reached for the doorknob. The coolness of the metal against my palm seemed to pull my senses together, until they almost clicked my mind. I felt much better.
Hey.
Oh, Hana. Satch had his hand in his pocket, looking at me casually. So casually. You still practicing for the tournament? I thought I wasn't involved in it anymore in light of the circumstances. Satch nodded. Well, I think you should keep practicing.
Really?
You think? Being a little obstinate right now, but they'll come around. Trust me, they're great guys, and they're your friends. Except for Satch in this scenario. He seems like a douche in this game. I didn't say anything, but I couldn't hold back a bitter chuckle. Can't blame me for feeling that way, but I'll just keep practicing. If nothing else, you can count on me. Alrighty, I'll do it. I'll play the video games. All of them. Every last one of them. I will fuck up the Hidden Block Club and the Puzzle Champion. But I believe I can. Thank you. Satch beamed at me and scratched the back of his neck.
Be good.
Anyway, it's late enough. I'll see you later, Hana.
See you later.
Good night. Now I'm wondering, since this is an alternate augmented reality headset that took me someplace away, I'm wondering if the rest of this is just a scenario that he made. And now he's, like, personally seeing if we're innocent through this. And that's it. I wonder. I gotta wonder now. But I trust Satch to not do that. Maybe Shane? I don't know. Whatever. Hey, I'm back. Ah! I was standing next to the door, staring at me as if trying to read my face. Is something wrong? I heard what you were talking about. A small thrill of anger shot through me before I remembered just how thin the dormitory doors were. Of course she heard us, I say. I walked past her and set my bag on the desk, waiting for what was coming next. Mai seemed to be considering what she would say. My heart sank. If Mai was actually thinking about what she wanted to say, it had to be something serious. Oh. She sat on my bed, facing me and the rest of the room. There wasn't anywhere I could go to hide. Damn, she was good. I didn't know the tournament was still on the table. Me neither, actually. If Satch says I should keep practicing, there must be hope, right? I trust him. I think it'll work out if he thinks it will. That's not what I was going to talk about. I know Satch is reliable. He doesn't say things without thinking them through, so it's not about whether you can trust him. Put my hand on my hip, suddenly impatient. And what is it? Well, are you sure you even still want to be in the tournament? Of course I do! Those boys have been treating you horribly. I know you were so happy when you had the chance to join the club and make friends with them. Heck, I was happy for you. We were both so excited. We truly thought they were, or could be, our friends. But they weren't. They aren't. Friends don't treat friends like this. Is it worth all the effort of practicing and preparing for the tournament?
Really?
Are you sure you want to do it? Would it be just for fun or for them? I'm not trying to say they're not good people, or that you shouldn't if you want to. I just want you to think this through. I don't like seeing people take advantage of my friends. People I care about. Advantage? Were they taking advantage of me? I don't know what to pick here. I'll just save for now and then give this some more thought. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe for more. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you to T-Cower, Shro, and Leviel for supporting me on Patreon this month. You can download the game in the description below. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye! That's one thing I don't like about horror games. Is there are some enemies you gotta run from, and you gotta deal with them. I would rather just kill... I did not mean to rhyme that. Yes, I did. Not really. Fuck you! Cupcake shit. Okay, that was definitely below you.